You know, things couldn't get much worse for this current British government. Well, they're just about to, in fact, when I explain this particular story. As ever, let me explain. Morning, nice to see you, chums. Thank you for joining me, and welcome one and all. I'm talking to you on a nice autumnal day here in the United Kingdom. Of course, as I often say, we slide into another season, and you just have to be grateful, don't you? I mean, let's be honest. I hope you are grateful, and I hope that you're looking after yourselves, whatever you're doing. By the way, thank you for your lovely comments regarding foods and things that we do miss, jam roll and custard. Do you remember buying this one brand that was in a tin? Maybe, a bit like me, late 70s, early 80s, child of that era. The thing is, you used to put the tin, I'll just explain this quickly, you used to put the tin in a pan of boiling water. It seemed to bang around that pan forever. And then, and then you got it out the pan, and then you had to sort of get it out, and that could be dangerous in itself. Do you remember that? Because I can't find anybody who remembers buying it. We had it a lot. I loved it. And it could be a bit dry, but if you whacked on enough custard, it was all right. There's too fussy nowadays, people, aren't they? Food's food. I mean, now it'd be full of E numbers, you couldn't eat it. Oh, goodness, It's a little bit like this problem. Some people might say this particular person, the current British Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Sir Keir Starmer, is full of himself, and literally what a disaster his week has been. I mean, we say this on an often basis, but could you be any more useless? The things that he said at the Labour Party conference at the start of this week, then we found out, of course, that he's diminished the security from one of the other party members from the Reform UK. And you just kind of think, really? You say sort of inflammatory things and then you do something like that. And then if that wasn't bad enough, you had the former Countdown hostess, Carol Vorderman, and, looking a lot worse for wear, might you say, because quite frankly, she's the person that actively tried to get this government into power. And now guess what? Carol's had one of her brainwaves, not many of those often, and basically said, oh no, she doesn't think Keir now would win, it's terrible. No, I mean, it always a big letdown. Well, you should have thought of that because you're meant to be the brains, remember. This is what this woman's built her alleged career on, right? But now, according to a well-placed source, she's offering her communication skills. That should go well. And no, you couldn't make this rubbish up, could you? Because she believes all they need is some better PR. Now, looking at Carol's PR, where she's had battles with everybody, fallen out with numerous people, that might be a wide berth as well. This is the problem now that's now also engulfing the government because, as I told you the other day, right, the government have now taken this mantra that they should be seen waving flags at every opportunity, draped in, of course, the Union Jack, the British flag. And as I also pointed out, the likes of the BBC and their star presenter, Naga Munchetty, alongside Charlie State, famously mocked MPs who came on their breakfast show for being surrounded patriotically by a flag. I mean, who are they? We pay their wages. Can't believe these people are still in jobs. If that was in the normal world, you'd be out. And think about it, when you go to the supermarkets, as I've mentioned here in the United Kingdom, the places like Aldi and Lidl, the supposedly cost-saving supermarkets, they have the Union Jack plastered everywhere because they want people from Britain to buy British goods. You get the picture. Now, here's where this is interesting because, as I told you, behind the scenes, not many of the star people in the government fancied being draped in a flag. But here's where this gets really twisted because they were forced to be pictured waving a flag on TV. Quite happy to do that because it's a nanosecond. Meanwhile, up and down the country, they are not forcing any of the councils to stop the removal of the St. George's flag or indeed our patriotic Union Jack, even though they could. They have the power of that. And I'm talking about people like the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, David Lammy, the British Prime Minister, anybody, Bridget Phillipson, the Education Minister. They could literally come out and say, no, we're very proud to be British. And all government buildings, remember, most of them at this current moment in time are under the Labour rule. You get the picture. But they won't, because they will do it simply to trick the viewer, to trick the worldwide audience that, look, we are patriotic, but behind the scenes, they are far from it. Everybody knows it, it's just that nobody wants to call it out. That is, of course, until now. Neil Sean in the very heart of the United Kingdom.